Very interesting how in my last review I was saying I want to get back to more of the Sasaki Kaneki stuff, and then in this chapter the way Takizawa was talking, it's as if we're very soon gonna get back into that whole internal struggle, because judging from this chapter, it looks like Sasaki cannot tango with Takizawa. Between the implants that they did on him and the massive amount of torture, Takizawa is looking like he's way out of Sasaki. Let's be clear here. Sasaki Heise's standard, not Ken Kaneki, because even though they're one and the same technically, mentally and power-wise, I truly feel that they're two different levels, because for starters, whenever Sasaki starts to lose it, he starts snapping back into that Ken Kaneki, which is why I say two different people in the same body. I mean, for starters, the way the chapter opens up, you got these motherfuckers going at it with each other, and Takizawa bites his shoulder, and it's kind of creeping into a little bit more of Takizawa once again, that he is completely aware of who he used to be, and yet he accepts the fact of who he is now, and he's totally okay with it. And judging how he basically said that the cock was just stabbing right through him, like, I'm already used to that, that just goes to show yet again my theory that they tortured the living fuck out of him to turn him into what he is right now, where he clearly remembers who he used to be, and he became the monster that he was scared of. Yeah, he had to have been through some shit. And I mean, if the fucking giant ass tentacles stabbing through his chest and stomach aren't nothing to him, then this motherfucker been through some shit. And not only that, he's just on a whole other level. I mean, they gave him a temporary rating of SS. And it kind of makes me wonder exactly what Eto is playing at, because she sent him over there. So is it that she's testing to see if Takizawa has surpassed the power that Ken Kaneki once had? If he's truly deserving of the new name? Was it to make him snap back into who he used to be? Because Takizawa hints a little bit at, let's talk about some secrets, and Ken Kaneki, or Sasaki Heise, isn't aware of who he used to be. He doesn't remember Ken Kaneki, so maybe he's going to start spilling some beans, and maybe this will be where he starts to get some of his memories back. I truly don't believe that he'll get everything back up until the encounter that he has whenever it happens with Amon, because Amon is always the other half, and ultimately now the shoe has been reversed, you know, is on the other foot now. But I think he's going to start to get something back, and I think we're definitely going to see another glimpse of Ken Kaneki in the upcoming chapters with this fight with Takizawa, because Takizawa's owning the fuck out of him. And honestly, for mainly fighting for a big chunk of this chapter, it was some crazy shit. I really fucked with it. And the dude that keeps on like ordering all this fucked up shit, like, yeah, we're going to have Sasaki fight on his own, I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to have Sasaki, while yeah, okay, maybe he could take out Takizawa, but either way, one of these monsters is gonna die in the process. Maybe he's like, I don't want Sasaki in here. He don't want no half ghoul or anything along the lines of that within the CCG, and that's why he's doing things like that. Because I mean, you even got Shirazu speaking out, which Shirazu, for the most part, while he's a little bit rude or, you know, things along the lines of that, he follows orders. So for him to speak out, you could definitely see that he's like, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm curious as to who Takizawa was referencing when he said my old boss that used to be like, you know, similar to what you're doing right now. Was he referring to his old partner? Was he referring to the head of the CCG that would give orders? Who was he referring to? Or is he referring to like his new boss, whoever that may be? Maybe he's referring to Kano. And for the billionth time, I don't know how many times I said this. It's probably like 1,800,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 or whatever, but someone beat the fuck out of Udi, this motherfucking piece of shit. He keeps on scheming so he can go up in the rankings, but at the end of the day, he's just a bitch. He's just a flat-out fucking bitch, and I really hope either Suzuya gets all the credit or something along the lines of that happens where he gets screwed over, because all the little plotting and trickery that he's trying to pull is just bullshit. I mean, especially with Mutsuki being such a warm and kind-hearted person, and he's like, this fucking idiot, good, I just fooled this bitch. Like, seriously, bro, what the fuck? And one of the biggest things that this chapter did was very good setups. I mean, we have 3 different setups. We have Shirazu and that other motherfucker, which I can't remember his name, and it'll be a while before I do, but basically they're gonna go up against Nutcracker. Don't see them coming out on top at all. The way Nutcracker's been built up, hells no. Then we also have Suzuya and Udi versus this pile of ghouls. I think they could come out on top, especially as crazy as Juuzo is. So we have that, and Sasaki versus Takizawa, with him getting absolutely owned, which I'm pretty sure this is foreshadowing to, yet again, we're going to have another encounter where he's going to have to break out of that shell and ultimately go crazy. With Naki being rescued by Ayato, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just one saving grace for he could finally man up after this and ultimately become a better person and a stronger person, because up till now he's just been crying. Ayato needs to slap the fuck out of him. Somebody needs to do something so he can get that character development, which I've been describing that he needs for weeks upon weeks now. And yeah, to be honest with you, a very good setup chapter. Big fights going down, a little bit more foreshadowing into possibly Ken Kaneki returning, and also Sasaki getting a little bit more of his memories back in this fight with Takizawa. And Takizawa's just insane. Like, the build-up that they did in the short amount of time that he's been reintroduced into the manga has been crazy. He's just ripping heads off and now even fucking up Sasaki Heist, one of the top ghoul inspectors. So 8 out of 10 for this one. Very good stuff. Looking forward to seeing these crazy encounters that we're about to have. And honestly, Takizawa has just been... I never thought I would give this much of a fuck about that little whiny bitch from the war that's now fucking ripping heads off. But let me know what you guys think. First of all, how do you think that's going to go down? Will Sasaki be able to take him out, or is Kaneki going to have to step in, so to speak? It's almost like Yugi and the Pharaoh from, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know. Just kind of brought that to my mind for a second. Also, Udi and Suzuya, how do you think that's going to go down? I really hope Udi gets screwed over. I really hope it goes down where he gets no credit. Fuck him. And also, Shirazu and that other dude, I totally don't see them at all taking Nutcracker down. I don't even know if they're going to be able to encounter Nutcracker, but I see them getting wrecked really, really bad. And your overall thoughts of the chapter, but that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.